observation that I had in the rural setup. So far as the discussion with the men and women in the rural setup, those observations suggest that these people did not get the advantage that the NREGS Act has. Most of the people did not know, the awareness level is very poor, and the women, the sociological aspects, and the traditional role that pervades in the rural sector, pervades this women hope to come out and explore the opportunities of getting that employment. And thirdly, wherever the lady servants are there, they are just the rubber stamp, and the husbands have been working for them and speaking about the work that has been done, and they just
stage. And of course, as we are involved in proper implementation of NREG in Odisha, we are very much hopeful, like other rural poor. First thing, there are so many scopes in the Act. Like it ensures transparency and accountability. Everybody knows, as Mr. Director Special Project has admitted, that corruption is now a national character. But this Act says beyond that, how to check corruption, how to ensure transparency and accountability, and for that it has provided ample scope and platform to deal with that. And fortunately, I was part of the process of conducting or facilitating 40 social audits across 19 districts, and I would say that there is of course scope for checking corruption by proper implementing NREG. And as we are discussing,
sustainable. But what I feel that probably there are certain procedures in the Act, like people applying for work and all those things. Whether those things can be sustainable in the long run or not, that I am personally skeptical about. But giving wage employment to the people, say for 100 days or whatever, is quite discussionable, unless of course the scheme altogether stops.
Now, having given the opinion of Mr. Mishra, now let me ask Mr. Neeral, that from your experience, how do you feel? Is it creating the infrastructure required to sustain the development process in the rural areas? Do you feel it?
If I could divide this whole NREG scheme to parts of my livelihood concept. So that way I think some way people should accept, and then should prioritization of things to be done with this scheme.
Okay, well, another major important component as far as the rural development is concerned is the capital formation which is taking place in the farm sector. Now, having spending a huge amount of money, what is the capital formation it is making in the rural areas? Whether, suppose...
But the experience shows that not many private agencies would be willing part of agencies. So it's not that NGOs are also able to deliver the lesson. So it's very difficult. So I personally feel that in the rural areas, there cannot be any better agency from NGO. But across the country, across all the 12 months, and across all sectors, there can be no substitute to government. We can always talk of improving the governance.
Right. Do we have any measurement? What is the actual cost incurred by the government to reach this benefit to the benefit?
Analysis has not been done, but that is not officially reported.
So,
yes.
Okay, now let me see how this panel respond to that.
Like as I said that if in the initial days if somebody else has worked in somebody else's job card, so this type of allegation will come. She might not, that first lady might not have worked at all, but somebody else's payment might have been routed to a job card. But these type of irregularities are not many nowadays. In the initial 2006-7 it was in Gallo, but now this type of instances are common. That is number one. Number two, awareness level is very low because it's very difficult to make people aware of the provisions of the Act. Our government institutes are slow to starting the work, and when the people come to do the work, in a backdated thing, their application is managed. Because if we really, if today we give an instruction to our field functionaries that don't start work unless there is a written demand for work, nowhere work will be taken. Because nowhere people are coming up with written demand for work. But we know that there is demand for work. Because this procedural thing, people are not, it's very inconvenient for them to write an application, come to GP office, give the application, take the receipt, and all those things. So,
whatever the schemes coming like IRDP, midday meals, or poverty elevation, they are end up with somewhere in that we are not getting the full potential of these programs. We are like that you have told that corruption. We are ending up with corruption. So what do you think that sir is the rural poverty is somewhat lacking in implementing these programs, sir, when we are ending up with these failures. So what should be the link?
when we devise a scheme, there are certain inbuilt limitations or mistakes that leads into the scheme, which also leads to its failure. There are some examples. I wish I could have spent more time to elaborate on that. But at the same time, I must also tell with full authority and conviction that all is not that bad as the deviant aspect of that. Maybe 15, 20, even 30% irregularities, leakage, misappropriation, etc. is taking place. That is a fact. But we should not, that should not gloss over the fact that the remaining 70-80% money is really going to the expenditure. How could one state pick up a 500 crore? This is absolutely incorrect. This is only to make sensational news and nothing else. And after that, Government of India asked the CAG to conduct a performance audit in all the states. CAG came up with those type of findings. That was centrally sponsored schemes. That means part of the fund is owned by Government of India, part of the fund is owned by the state government. So NREGA is the scheme, which is a centrally sponsored scheme. Almost 90% of the fund is given by Government of India, about 10% is given by the states. So naturally, if you give 10 rupees to your son, so naturally you would ask him how to spend it or how not to spend it. So it is very natural that the Government of India would give all these guidelines, acts, rules, etc. But practically when it comes to implementation, I don't feel that it is the Government of India is
not accountable. Start. Here are the records.
What report?
Yes, sir. Can you write?
Like the energy is a different program than other programs, and the program is that here PRIs are more important. But in the whole talk, we find that the PRIs have never come in the picture. So can you throw a light on why this is happening? The accountability part, which you are talking that bureaucracy is not accountable. Maybe there are any reasons, but why the accountability is not coming to the low to top? Is why it's always to top to bottom. Can you explain this?
If one person is accountable, it's a bureaucrat. In a Gram Panchayat, there are Panchayat Samiti chairpersons, there are Gram Panchayat sarpanches, but there are also bureaucrats. Bureaucrats, I would say government officials, asking or helping them to conduct the work. If something goes wrong, immediately disciplinary proceeding is instituted against the government officer. Very rarely criminal proceedings are instituted against sarpanches or Panchayat Samiti chairpersons. Rather, bureaucrats are more accountable. Their promotion, their continuation in the service are at stake if they do some mistake. The second aspect is why PRIs are not involved to the extent it is desirable. It is not only NREGA, there are also many, almost all schemes want that PRIs should be actively involved. Not only NREGA and the National Rural Health Mission, all schemes, everywhere PRIs are to be involved. But except probably Kerala and West Bengal and maybe to some extent Karnataka, PRIs have not become that mature to be involved. That is number one reason.